With the American League West title now out of reach, there's only one flag left to capture as the Halos have 3 games remaining to get to the promised land. The playoffs are still in sight. However, their fate is no longer totally in their control. They must win now to keep their hopes alive.
Your goal is still there. Your goal is to get to the playoffs. And it might be a little harder route right now. And, so at this moment, we're going to need a little bit of help.
After a 7-game winning streak, the Angels have lost their last 2. They've been eliminated from the American League West contention. They still have their eyes on the wild card. Today, it is game number 2 of this 4-game series against the Texas Rangers. Houston was idle last night. They will start a series tonight in Phoenix against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Angels and the Minnesota Twins, both a game back of the Astros. We welcome you inside Globe Life Park and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. Along with Mark Gubiza, I'm Victor Rojas. And Mike Scioscia will hand the ball off to the veteran Jared Weaver. And Jared, over the last, pretty much the last couple of seasons, been a different pitcher than he was when he first got called up. He's pitched a little bit better of late, although the last start had to come out after 5 innings.
Yeah, he did, Victor. But he did throw the ball pretty well. And take a look at our tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. His fastball command a little bit better, velocity around 84 to 86 at times, but really when it comes down to Weaver, it's his changeup and curveball. Spotting his fastball in the corners. When he does that, he makes his all-speed pitches a lot better. He had a decent, like I said, fastball, but it's his curveball. It's going to be important against this Texas Ranger lineup. 15-8 for Weaver in his career against the Rangers, and when you look what he's done his last 5 starts here in Texas, 3-1 record with an ERA 3.34 for Weaver here in Texas. First couple innings going to be very important to establish that curveball and changeup. If he does so, he'll get him out in front and get some quick outs.
On the offensive side, the Angels' offense was stymied by the left-hander Derek Holland last night. They'll face another lefty tonight in Martin Perez. We're just about ready for baseball here in North Texas. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. in Game 1 and thus being eliminated from the American League West division title this year, a season after winning 98 games, but still hope. Tied with the Minnesota Twins, 1 game back of the Houston Astros. The Angels will have to take care of their own business, and then, of course, need help from the Diamondbacks, who are hosting the Houston Astros, and the Kansas City Royals, who are visiting Target Field in Minneapolis. That game will go on simultaneously as this one. The one in Arizona, of course, will start a little bit later on. So we'll continue to get you updated.
Arizona's played very well. 4 wins in a row for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's check out Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels. Game number 160. It's Eric Ibar leading things off at short. Cole Calhoun in right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols had a 2-hit game yesterday with a double and a home run. He's the DH. C.J. Cron at first. David Freese at third. Shane Victorino at left. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Johnny Giavotella batting ninth and will play second base as they're taking on the 24-year-old left-hander native of Venezuela. His name is Martin Perez.
Perez fastball is 90-95. Slider, curveball, and very good changeup. My go-to is to be successful against Perez. Hit that changeup the other way in quiet hands. Don't try to do too much at the plate. Use the middle of the field. Don't try to pull him, especially on his all-speed pitches away.
Take a look at the defense for the Texas Rangers. Behind Martin Perez tonight, Josh Hamilton at left, Delano DeShields at center, Shin-Soo Choo at right. The infield with Beltre, Andrews, Odor, and Moreland tonight at first base. Jimenez behind the plate.
Yeah, more than 8 very good fielding first baseman. Has just 1 error in his last 90 starts at first base. 4 overall in the season. Has turned 76. Double plays, very active, very quick at first base for the Rangers.
Double whammy yesterday for the Angels. Keenan seemed to be a little sluggish on the offensive side, especially against Derek Holland. And plus, they were matched up against a left-hander. Now, the Angels have struggled against left-handed pitching. That's been certainly pointed out all season long. But Holland and the Rangers certainly executed their game plan, especially in on right-handed batters. And you would assume that Martin Perez would do the same tonight.
You would think he's going to try to do that, but he don't throw quite the cut fastball or fastball consistently in like Derek Holland can. More so would throw a lot of pitches away. If he tries to come in, sometimes when you're not used to doing that, that's when you make a mistake.
Eric Ibar leading things off. First one tonight is cut on and bounced up the middle. Andrews to his left, can't come up with it. It's a lead-off single to start the ball game.
I like that first pitch swinging against Perez. Hitters on that first pitch, but they making contact. 370 batting average against Perez. Fastball down, use the middle of the field. That's what you got to try to do against Perez if you're going to be successful. Just underneath the glove of Andrews. Not many baseballs got by him last night.
No. He was a busy guy last night at the shortstop position as Cole comes up now. This is also an important game for the Texas Rangers as they clinched a playoff spot last night. Their magic number as 1 to win the West. Any combination of a Texas win or a Houston loss, and they will win the division. Martin Perez making his 14th start, 3-6 mark, a 4.77 ERA. Faced the Angels on the 4th of September and took the loss in that one, giving up 3 runs on 5 hits, worked 6 innings. Two balls and no strikes. Cole hitting .259. 25 home runs, 82 runs batted in. 0 for 4 last night. The Angels managed just 4 hits. Pujols with the double and the home run. Ibar with a single and Victorino with a single. That was it last night for the Angels. Two and 1.
Good swing on a 2-0 pitch. Looking for something on the inner half to be able to hook it down the line here, but didn't catch up to that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Mentioned the struggles the Angels have had against left-handed pitching this year. .236 team batting average against left-handed pitching. .246 against righties. Check in on Ibar. Leadoff single for him. Andrews shading Calhoun toward the middle of the field. Beltre's off the line at third. The outfield shallow, especially left and center. Slight little breeze blowing in this ballpark. No real jet stream out to right field. No south wind. Tonight a northerly wind. Ball was carrying last night. Cole fouls this one back, especially out to straightaway center field.
Yeah, a couple swings you thought maybe they hit the ball pretty good, but got always to the wall. I mean, that baseball carried extremely well.
There are those flags out in center field and in right, especially the ones above the scoreboard. If they're pinned in toward the field, that means you've got a south wind and you get the jet stream out to right and right center. Pretty good poke to the power alley at right center. It's 407, 404 just to the left of center. 390 to the power alley in left center field. Calhoun strikes out swinging, 1 away.
Monday key for the scheme. Angels, plain and simple. Going a little Metallica. Nothing else matters. All about picking up this W today. No matter how you do so, whether it's on the mound pitching extremely well, hitting, fielding, whatever it takes, you have to find a way to win this game today.
Trout greeted with a chorus of boos here in Arlington. 297 average and 0 for 4 last night. Takes outside. 30 doubles, 5 triples, 41 home runs, 89 runs batted in.
9 career home runs in this ballpark for Trout. I think he's trying for number 10.
Yeah, good off-speed pitch from Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Perez making his 5th appearance, 4th start against the Angels in his career. 1-1. A 2.61 ERA. Only made 8 starts last year. They got shut down. Had elbow surgery in May. Spent the early part of this season recovering from that surgery. Locked him up with a fastball.
And just like you mentioned about Derek Holland last night. Fastball is in, and Jimenez made sure when he was setting up in, he was off the plate in there. That way he didn't make a mistake out over the plate. He jammed Trout on that one. Derek Holland threw the ball very well. Had been struggling his 4 previous starts when he was over 8.
Ibar with a good lead at first base. Trout goes down swinging. I thought perhaps maybe he got a piece of it. He did not. 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Perez. Another off speed.
After that fastball in, came right back with another changeup. Throws about 21% of his pitches or changeups. That's the need. You can't try to pull that changeup. You have to think right center to right field as a right-handed batter against him.
Third consecutive start for the Angels against a left-handed pitcher. Remember, Barry Zito got the start for Oakland. That tough Wednesday loss. Here's Albert. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Pujols hitting 241 after getting 2 hits last night. 21st double. Picked up his 39th home run. His 559th of his career. 14th all time. Next up on the list, Reggie Jackson at 563 home runs. Ground ball left side. That'll sneak through. Base hit for Albert. 2 on. 2 outs. TJ Crone coming to the plate.
Down, he got an off-speed pitch. So he came with a changeup that time, went down and hooked that one right in between short and third. Very similar to the pitch that Beltre hit for a double for the Rangers last night. An all-speed pitch down and in.
And certainly feeling much better. Just the swings that he has had of late. Good solid base underneath him. The right foot seems to be feeling a little bit better. Taylors could use all the help they can get, especially in must-win situations. They played so well over the last couple of weeks. The back end of that last road trip, and of course the just completed homestand. Here's CJ Crone. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Crone last night 0 for 4, 3 ground downs and 1 fly ball to left.
If you look for patterns so far, when Perez is throwing a fastball in, he's followed it right back up with a changeup. I don't know if he'll come back in with another fastball here.
And it catches the inside corner. CJ Crone, a glance back. That's Lance Barksdale tonight calling the balls and strikes. Eric Cooper at first, Gary Severstrom at second, Quinn Walcott at third.
Yeah, this looked like this one caught the plate. The pitch before was definitely off the inside corner. This is where C.J. Cron has excelled in that 0-2 pitch, is trying to put the ball in play.
This one lined to right center field, a base hit. Ibar's going to come in to score. Pujols will stop at second, and it's 1-0 Angels here in the first. Cron with his 50th RBI.
His 19th RBI versus the Rangers this year. That 0-2 pitch, he's shortened up his swing at that point and made good contact, gets that ball over Odor's head, and a quick visit right away to Perez. C.J. Cron, what he has done so solidly this season in these spots. 0-2 pitch, just looking to make contact, line drive over Odor's head. It's up another RBI. He's 50th of the season, we mentioned, but also when you think about it, 19 RBI against the Rangers this season.
You need 5 batters into a game. You got to have a pitching mound visit,
and a long one too.
But there's nothing short about the visits by Mike Maddox.
He got ahead 0-2. I mean, he
just
missed
location.
Yeah. You could say that from the dugout. Hey, it's location. Mike Scioscia would say, hey, miss location again.
Here's David Freese, 2 on, 2 outs. 1-0 Angels here in the first. Check swing foul. And it's no balls and a strike. Freese hitting .260, 14 home runs, 56 RBIs. Drew a walk, a couple of ground outs, and a fly ball out last night. Holland ended up going 6 1/3, and then it was the revamped bullpen for Texas that finished it off. 0-2.
Tried to turn into that pitch. Very close to hitting Freese. And that looks to be their pattern. They're going to try to pitch inside, especially against Freese, who's very good looking away and driving the ball to right center field.
Especially as hot as he has been since coming off the disabled days. 1-2 now. Breaking ball out toward right field. Chu has to come in on it. And he'll make the catch on the run for the third out. But the Angels strike for a run on 3 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Weaver taking the mound with an early lead. Bannister lineup for the Texas Rangers at 87 and 72. They'll have DeShields leading things off at center. Chu and right fielder DH Beltre, the big bases clearing double last night. He's the third baseman. Mitch Moreland at first base. Josh Hamilton at left. Elvis Andrus the shortstop. Brugnet Odor at second, and Chris Jimenez is batting ninth and doing the catching as they take on Jared Weaver, 7-12 mark and a 4.76 ERA.
And all that matters is him to have a very big game here. It doesn't matter what he's done the rest of the season. Let's be able to pick up a W tonight. My go-tos to get that done. His last 2 starts in Texas, 14 innings pitched, his 3 earned runs, batting average against him, 176.
Delano DeShields takes upstairs. The center fielder hitting .260 with a couple of home runs, 36 runs batted in. 1 for 2 last night. RBI double and 2 walks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Weaver likes to keep the pace moving along. DeShields a little extra time, backs out. 2-1 inside. 3 balls and a strike. Remember, Weaver last start was going really good. 3 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits, 1 run through 5 innings, 71 pitches. Dare I say, cruising along, but all of a sudden, to our surprise, came out of the game. Revealed after the game a little tightness in that shoulder.
Yeah, he told me a little bit later that night that his shoulder was sore even before he took the mound that day. But competed as well as he could. Mike Scioscia, when he got that 5 innings out of him, went to the bullpen.
Here's the 3-2. DeShields draws the walk. The speedy outfielder on board to lead off things in the bottom of the first. And here's the Angels defense tonight. Shane Victorino left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right. It's David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavotella, and C.J. Cron around from third to first. Perez behind the plate.
And with Weaver on the mound, generally some fly ball action, and Cole Calhoun has been outstanding in right field. 11 assists this season, which is career high, third best amongst AL right fielders. I think when you talk about Gold Gloves, he's probably at the top of that list right now in the American League as far as right fielders.
Shin-Soo Choo at .274 average on the year, 21 home runs, 79 runs batted in. Leaning, and the throw was wide. DeShields was ready to go if that throw's on the base runner's side.
Yeah, he had
get the out.
Weaver has a very good move. Just didn't quite get that throw to the arm side of C.J. Cron to be able to apply a tag. Weaver with 4 pickoffs this season. This game out, he had no walks, 3 punch outs. Just 1 earned run in 5 innings.
As hot as Choo has been, the Angels kept him off the bases last night. He did draw 1 walk, but went 0 for 3. Leaning again, and Cron not even bothering with the tag.
One move that can get DeShields for Weaver is that step off and then fire over quickly. Even set up one time where you step off and don't throw over, and then do the same and then throw over to get him.
Big lead. He takes off. Pitches inside to throw down by Carlos on the shortstop side. And it's a stolen base for DeShields. 25th stolen base in the season for Delano DeShields.
Pretty good jump. DeShields, a quick base runner. Slides in there, gets in a scoring position. And had an opportunity a couple different times to pick him off. With a great move, was unable to get his A move to get him.
1 ball, 1 strike on Choo. He skies this one out for shallow right center field. Cole has to come in on it. DeShields could not advance. 1 down.
Big out for Weaver. Fielder will step up. He's the DH.
He's fifth in the American League as far as batting average is concerned, 309. 28 doubles, 23 home runs, and 96 runs batted.
Not be surprised if you see Eric Ibar and Weaver put on a pickoff now at some point, especially because Freese has to play away from third base. And Shields able to get a bigger lead.
Breaking ball caught the inside corner for a strike. Halo is scoring a run in the first inning. 2-out base hit by C.J. Cron, scoring Eric Ibar. DeShields takes off. The throw to third is not in time. Quick tag by Freese on the helmet.
Well, the whole dugout.
Walcott says the hand got there before the tag, and I'm sure Soch will have Dino and the guys take a look at it.
I just watched the reaction by the dugout, by the guys in the dugout. Right away, they were all jumping up thinking they had him. Quick throw. Well, that was close. Looked like he got him. That tag's on the head. He's out.
Yeah.
He's out for sure. They got to check that one. I don't blame Soch.
And they are going to check it.
That was a quick tag by Freese and a perfect throw from Perez. Well, just by the reaction in that dugout, every single guy threw their arm ups right away.
Yep.
Tag on the head. Fingers just getting to the base. He should be out.
Quinn Walcott, third base umpire, the crew chief Gary Cedarstrom with the headsets on. Right now, the stolen base, it would be his second of the inning. Call on the field, obviously safe, so the Angels hoping to get that call overturned.
That should be pretty quick. Quick transfer and throw by Carlos Perez on that one.
Yeah.
And a good play by Freese because he's got to go a pretty good distance to be able to apply that tag. He's on the move. Quick tag. There's no question.
Headsets are coming off. Cedarstrom says he's out. The challenge works, 2 down. Helps out too with a left-handed batter. Much easier for a catcher. Clean angle and clean view to third base.
But this is what we thought he might try to do, especially because if Freese is playing off the base with the shift on. A long distance to go, but what a perfect throw by Perez.
1-1 to fielder. It's cut on and missed. 1-2.
And prior to that throw from Perez to get the Shields, Texas had been successful. 14 of 15 attempts trying to steal bases this season. Now 14-2. 14 of 16 for Texas.
Down and in. Evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beltre on deck. Upstairs, full count. You think that's a pitch right there for Weaver today? It could be effective.
Yeah, because I think they're sitting off speed. If he can elevate, especially inside, should be effective.
Breaking ball upstairs. Got underneath that one. Second walk of the inning. With 2 outs and a man on it. Beltre coming up. Jared's making his second start of the season against Texas. In 6 innings in the other one, allowing a run on 4 hits, 3 strikeouts and 3 walks. That start was on the 5th at the Big A. Beltre last night, a 2-for-3 game. The biggest hit, of course, was the last batter that Andrew Heaney faced in the 5th inning. Bases clearing double, his 31st double. Andrew now is 77 runs batted in. Evens count of 1 ball, 1 strike.
So far in the sequence against Beltre, a curveball 67, a slider 74.
Lifted out the right side. Shallow right field. Giavotella goes out there and will put it away for the third out. No runs, no hits, one left on, and one overturned call at third. Gives the Angels a 1-0 lead heading to the second.
Well done by Freese and Perez to get the Shields at third.
Coming up for the Halos against Martin Perez in Minneapolis. No score. The Royals and the Twins just underway. It's the top of the second now. Very important game. The Twins are tied with the Angels. One game back of the Astros, and they will tee it up in a little while against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Chase Field in Phoenix.
Royals have a man on second with one out.
Victorino looks at a strike. Shane back in left field once again, hitting .231 this year with a home run. 7 runs batted in. 1 for 1 yesterday. Sac fly, a single, and a hit by pitch. Hits this one out to left field. Hamilton drifts back on it, makes the catch. 1 down. Fans, your Angels are making a push for the postseason. Tickets for potential 2015 American League Wildcard and Division Series home games are on sale now. Get your tickets today at angels.com/postseason. Carlos Perez hitting .253. He's behind the plate last night. 0 for 3 with a walk. Takes low. Halos had 3 hits in that first inning on 3 singles. Crohn's was the big one. An 0-2 count. Single out to right center.
Shook off to go to a changeup. He's got a good one working here tonight so far.
That game in Arizona tonight will have Keuchel on the mound for the Astros. Ruby De La Rosa going for the Diamondbacks. Called strike 3. Caught the bottom part of the strike zone. 2 down. Third strikeout for Perez.
Right on that outside corner with his changeup. Perfect location. Go back to the Diamondbacks. If they can sweep the Astros, they would end up the season 81-81. Consider where they have been the last couple of seasons. That's a major accomplishment for the Diamondbacks.
Giavitello looks at a strike. Johnny didn't like that call.
Yeah, that pitch was off the corner.
A couple of the Angels hitters have already looked back and had some words with Lance Barksdale. Both sides unhappy with the strike zone last night of Quinn Walcott. He's at third base tonight. Johnny gets jammed, pops it up. First base side, Jimenez and Moreland. Jimenez makes a sliding catch, and the Angels go down in order. We head to the bottom of the second with the Angels up 1-0. Data strong fan just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. A lot of red here in Texas. It's one of their primary colors. A lot of Angel fans in attendance here as well. Moreland takes ball one outside. Moreland, Hamilton, and Andrews in the second. They're expecting a sellout here tonight. They have fireworks after the game, and of course a potential clincher for the Rangers. Moreland off the end of the bat, lifts one out to right. Giavitello is already in the shift, is out there. One away. Hamilton, the starting left fielder, hitting .253, 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in. And Weaver delivers a strike. Josh, in last night's game, ended up going 1 for 3, had a double, and also had a sac fly in the 7th inning. He drives this one out toward left field. Victorino's there. 2 down.
Four fly ball outs. The game at this point for Weaver. The norm for Weaver's fly balls, especially out in front.
Elvis Sanders steps up with 2 outs and nobody on. .257 with 7 home runs and 60 runs batted. And we mentioned last night the 7 home runs, a career high for him. Driving the ball a little bit more. 32 doubles, 2 triples, takes a strike. One ball, one strike. We were talking about that Kansas City Minnesota game. Not only is it important for Minnesota, but also important for Kansas City. They're still playing for best record and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They're tied going into action tonight with Toronto at 92-67. Toronto's losing to the Rays 4-1 that game at the bottom of the 5th.
Toronto has the tiebreaker because of a better record against Kansas City this year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. We were trying to finish up a 1-2-3 inning. This is a chopper to the right side. Crone with a diving stop. Weaver a little bit late getting there and safe as the call. I thought Jared was in time, but CJ making the decision not to give the ball up. And that'll go as an infield base hit for Elvis Andrews.
Mike Scioscia's going to look at that to see if Crone got his foot on the base before Andrews did. Good play by Crone. Good range. A little bit of a hesitation.
He's there, though. I think Weaver's there in time.
I think Mike Scioscia may challenge this the way he's looking in just to make sure. See if there's a different angle to check it.
He got him.
He got him.
He did get him.
I think you challenge it if you're
Absolutely,
Mike Scioscia.
on that angle. Do it.
Yep. His foot is on the base. Right away, C.J. Crone pointed in to the dugout himself. See this slide? Foot's about ready to hit. He's out.
Yep. Good call. So it's Cedarstrom and this time Eric Cooper. First base umpire heading over.
That angle is going to be more difficult to tell. The other 2 angles definitely.
But again, I'm surprised that CJ took it upon himself. Weaver was there. He was late to start, but he was there in position.
Right there, you can see he's out.
Yep.
Foot's on the base before Andrews touches the bag.
You know how I think we could speed up these managers looking downstairs? Just have them look up to us.
Yeah.
And we'll just give you the signs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or wave them off.
And we've been pretty honest about it, too, with what we've seen, because we get some great views.
What do we gain by claiming one thing or the other? And he is out at first, so it's a 1-2-3 inning. 2 complete here in Arlington. The Angels up 1-0. Texas Rangers. Coverage starts at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Check your local listings for game in your area. There's a look at the playoff pictures. Toronto, Kansas City, in Texas. They've clinched a playoff berth. They've got a 3-game advantage over the Houston Astros. Houston has the second wild card spot and a game advantage on the Angels and the Minnesota Twins. No score in Minnesota. Here it's 1-0 Angels as we start the third. Ibar, the leadoff man, takes inside.
And Minnesota just picked up a run on a base hit. They got one in, first and second now with 2 outs in the bottom of the second in Minnesota target field.
Up to the second, we're giving you updates. I failed you. Gooby picks me up.
All day long. We're going to keep everyone up to date. This is fun times. Got to take care of business first here, though, for the Angels.
Ibar with a base hit up the middle and a run scored, so he's 1 for 1. Bouncer to third. Beltre has it. 1 down. That ball got on Beltre in a hurry.
I think he might have lost that right away. Especially because that's almost like a line drive right at him. One hop. Sometimes you can lose that in the crowd. Gold Glove winner. Multiple Gold Gloves for Beltre. Makes the play.
Cole, a strikeout victim in the first. One of 3 strikeouts for Perez. Breaks his bat, rolls a foul, 0-2. Up and away. Halos with 3 hits. All 3 happening in the first. Perez coming off 1, 2, 3 second inning. Trout on deck. Cole just got a piece of that one.
Yeah, baseball fouled off Lance Barksdale at the end of the bat of Cole Calhoun. Youngster's happy with that baseball.
He's thinking about throwing it.
Yeah, lefty.
You can pitch a long time in the big leagues if you're left-handed and have a pulse.
He's making sure he's keeping that glove right on the right hand, making sure you're lefty.
Mom, why don't you hold this?
Yes.
Son. Broke his bat, pops it up to Odor. 2 down. So 2 outs and Trout up.
Perez so far in this game has pitched inside pretty well. Fastball in. Calhoun broke another bat. Doesn't give up many home runs. It's 3 .71 and 2/3 innings pitched this season.
Trout struck out on an off-speed pitch in the first inning. Perez retired 6 straight since the single by Crone. Bouncing in the dirt. Lays off, and it's ball 4. First free pass issued by Perez. Gives Albert an opportunity to bat with a man on. Pujols already 1 for 1 with a single.
His fastball just a little bit off the outside corner. Jimenez tried to bring that back on the corner. Perez didn't like the call. Another opportunity with 2 outs. The Angels have been pretty good of late, scoring runs with 2 outs.
Albert hacking away, first pitch, fouls it off, 0-1. We've got to move the needle off the ex-player not happy with the call record, because it's we're scratching the living daylights out of it. We've said that quite a bit through yesterday's game, and now here in the early part of this one. One ball, 1 strike. And yet another conversation for Jimenez. Wearing out a path.
Maddox has done a very good job with the pitching staff over his tenure here with the Rangers. His right-handed batters, though, very good success against Perez. Lefties, not so much.
Trout 11 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 7 times. Picked up his 11th a couple of games ago against Oakland. Breaking ball low. Boy, just like that, Toronto now leads Tampa Bay 5-4 at the top of the 6th inning. 4-run spot.
Yeah, Tampa Bay was leading that game 4-1. Yeah. That offense is unbelievable.
Halos up 1-0. We're in the 3rd with 2 outs. Trout working the walk. Pujols shoots one out toward right field. Chu moving over. Puts it away for the 3rd out as we head to the bottom of the inning. 8-9-1 coming up for Texas, with the Angels leading at 1-0.
Ago today, Bucky Dent hits a 3-run home run at the top of the 7th. A 1-game playoff series. Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees end up winning that one 5-4. The Green Monster.
Yeah. Rougned Odor, Chris Jimenez, and Delino DeShields to face Jared Weaver. A 1-2-3 second inning. Helped out with the overturned call at first base and the Andrus ground ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Rangers second baseman. 0 for 4 last night.
The way things are going, there's a possibility of a 1-game playoff to get to the wild card game.
That would happen on Monday. Weaver, no strikeouts and 2 walks. Evens up the count with that pitch. Royals have tied it up in the top of the 3rd inning. And they're still batting with 2 men on. 1-1 in Minnesota. This one's out toward right field. Cole racing over and will reach up and make the catch. Nice play by Cole. As that ball was struck well by Odor.
And he hooked that slow breaking ball that was away. Good quick first step. Closing speed for Cole to make an outstanding play. Talked about him potentially winning the Gold Glove. It's a right fielder in the American League. That's an outstanding play.
Chris Jimenez, the catcher, takes a strike. 35th game this year, .258 batting average, 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Breaking ball caught the top part of the zone.
Dangerous spots, though, for whether it's his curveball or slider. Both strikes in this at bat against Jimenez were both upstairs, upper part of the strike zone.
And he hit this one out to center field. Trout racing back. Told you last night the ball had some carry, and he will make the catch in front of the wall. We've got some carry tonight because he kind of reached out for that pitch.
84-mile-an-hour fastball. Another pitch upstairs. Trout in a more shallow center field, taking that angle, but right in front of that wall, makes a nice play once again tonight. Yeah, not a lot of movement when in his head. He keeps that still. That way the eyes aren't moving. He can track that into his glove. Good play by Trout. 2 good plays in the outfield in this inning so far for Weaver behind him.
DeShields looks at a strike. He drew a walk in the 1st inning. Stole 2nd. Tried to steal 3rd. Was called safe, but the call overturned after Sosha challenged it. Rangers have won 2 challenges already tonight. 0-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Weaver looks just like he did against his last start. Looking very good so far. Mixing up all his pitches. Feeling pretty confident with all of them.
Very important for him to do so.
Breaking pitch, got him looking. Down goes to Shields. First strikeout of the night for Weaver. We head to the fourth. Angels getting some good defense. Leading at 1-0.
Very important for this lineup going against Weaver. Some big-time defense we've seen in that inning by both outfielders.
That was a 2-out walk to Trout. It's almost Halloween, Gooby.
Yes. Well aware of that.
Yeah. C.J. Cron was the man who put the Angels up 1-0 with his RBI single in the first inning. Leads things off here in the fourth. He'll be followed by David Freese and Shane Victorino. RBI for C.J. is 50th. Well, it's a great crowd here on a Friday night. Beautiful Friday night with fireworks afterward. And the anticipation of a potential clinch. It's a very subdued crowd tonight for a Friday night.
And that's, as a pitcher, opposing pitcher, that's what you're trying to do, to take the crowd out of the equation. Limit the amount of base runners. Weaver's been pretty good so far as limiting that in this game.
Came to life last night for sure in the fifth inning. Texas eventually scored 4 runs in that frame. Crow fouls this one back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Royals and Twins tied at 1, top of the 4th inning. Houston will be at Arizona at 6:40. Almost underway. Dallas Keuchel against Ruby De La Rosa. This one's popped up. Orland, the first baseman, drifting into foul territory. Puts it away for the first down. I was asked on Twitter about the 3-team tie scenario and how that would play out if that were the case. And it's the Astros, Angels, and the Twins. After Sunday's games are finished and all 3 are tied, the wild card game that's scheduled for Tuesday would be pushed back to Wednesday. And they would use the 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, to determine who will play the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Now, the best record amongst the three teams, Angels, Astros, and Twins, it's the Angels. So they have the first selection. And the obvious selection is to take Monday off and play the one game on Tuesday night on the road. Houston has the second selection. They would take the game Monday night, one would think. That would be against the Twins at Minute Maid Park. So that's how it all plays out. So just imagine it becomes difficult. The loser in all of that, if you think about it, really is the Twins. If they were to go into it, they would have to play on the road on Monday, play on the road Tuesday, and then they would go to New York on Wednesday, and then start the division series, whether it's in Toronto or Kansas City, that yet to be determined, on Thursday. Good luck.
Yeah, that's wasting or using your top three starters before you face a team like Toronto with that offense.
That's why you want to win the division.
Yes, exactly. But even then, though, the wild card, even with the new system in place, and you have to play that wild card game, you're expected to waste your #1 starter in that game. That the wild card teams have still done very well in this new format.
Victorino lifts one out to left. Hamilton comes in. Andrews going out. Gets called off. And the Angels go down in order. Right to the bottom of the fourth. 2, 3, and 4 coming up in Texas with the Angels leading it. This 5K fun run is April 9, 2016. The first 5,000 registered participants get a T-shirt, commemorative medal, and 2016 game ticket. Registration will open in November. For more info, angels.com/5K. Jin-Soo Choo leading things off. He'll be followed by Prince Fielder and then Adrian Beltre. 1 strikeout, 2 walks for Weaver so far. Choo hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Weaver so far not allowed a hit. He's gone 3 innings. Lived on the edge a little bit, Gooby. Everything has been up in the strike zone.
Yeah, that's the thing that you kind of worry about, consistently everything upstairs. Again, another pitch upstairs, whether it's change-up, fastball, even this curveball and slider have been upstairs.
By design, though, maybe to try to sneak some fastballs up there?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're at the very top of the strike zone, you will get a lot of pop-ups. But if it's down just a fraction, that becomes a very hittable pitch. So ideally, if you're going to get those called strikes, you go just a little bit higher get some easier routes.
Chu drives this one out toward left center field, tailing away from Trout, not going to get there, and that is gone. Shin-Soo Choo goes opposite field to tie this game up at 1, and there's that carry again.
And an off-speed pitch upstairs in the strike zone. Chu with real good numbers in his career versus Weaver. In 390 now, and that pitch stayed back well on the changeup. And that carry, that's a long way out there to left center field.
Fielder looks at a strike. For Chu, it's his 22nd home run and his 80th run batted in. Left-handed batters going the opposite way in this ballpark. Pretty good poke. Big rip. 1-2 count. Fielder with a walk in the first inning. And home run, of course, waking up the crowd a little bit. Here's the 1-2 to Fielder. Takes down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one's out towards center. It's playable for Trout.
And it's still important, even though he's throwing an assortment of off-speed pitches. They've been upstairs in the strike zone. He still has to challenge with a fastball. That wasn't necessarily overpowering. He was a little bit out of the strike zone and got Fielder to pop that one up. It was similar to the pitch he got Adrian Beltre to pop up back in the first inning, a high fastball.
Beltre takes a high fastball for a strike. He popped out to Giavotella in the first.
Seen that a number of different times for Beltre, trying to drive a breaking ball out, go down to that one knee to try to hook that ball down the left field line.
0-2 pitch. Ground ball toward the middle. Giavotella to the backhand has it. Low throw, and Crone digs it out. Well, Johnny had all day to make a solid throw. Nice play by CJ to pick him up 2 away.
Kind of a tough in-between hop, too, for CJ Crone to pick. Nice job on the backhand for Giavotella. Plenty of time to gather, but then that short, you see how he cut across his body instead of finishing off that throw. We talk about that when you're a pitcher on the mound. Same thing goes as an infielder. Cut across your body like that, you're going to have cut action on your throw.
Mitch Moreland, the first baseman, popped down his first time up. 0 for 1. No Mike Napoli tonight. Angels and Jared Weaver certainly happy about that. I think they swung the bat well against Jared. Last night was at first base. Drew a couple of walks, ended up going 0 for 1.
Brought a lot of energy to this Ranger club since coming over in that deal with the Red Sox.
3-0. Hamilton on deck.
Along with the shorts they wear during batting practice, now the American flag shorts.
A lot of different personalities on that club. 3-0 hack, and it's cued off the end of the bat. Perez throws out Moreland. The inning is over. Shin-Soo Choo leads off the bottom of the 4th with a home run. His 22nd home run to tie this game up at 1 as we head to the 5th inning.
Job on the backhand for Giavotella, but then even better play by Crone on the scoop at first base against Beltre.
21 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. 1-1 tie, top of the 5th. Carlos Perez, Johnny Giavotella, Eric Ibar trying to give Jared Weaver the lead once again. The only hit of the game for Texas, the home run by Shin-Soo Choo in the 4th to tie things up. Carlos 0 for 1. He went down looking in the 2nd inning. One of 3 strikeouts for Martin Perez. Perez has issued 1 walk. He's allowed 3 hits. None since the 1st.
That's the thing about Weaver. Last game now too against Seattle, didn't give up his first hit until the 4th inning.
Carlos, little chopper to short. Went out. Angels offense since that 1st inning hasn't done much against Perez. The only base runner being that 2-out walk to Trout. And nothing more.
Really, the last 2 games, and prior to our game yesterday in the opening, we talked about how well the Angels have swung the bat here.
And
16 games, 14-2.
27 hits combined in the last couple of games against Oakland prior to this series. Limited last night so far in there going. Limited as well as Johnny takes his strike. He popped out to Jimenez in front of the Ranger dugout in the 2nd inning.
It's a good number since coming back in the DL. 8 for 20 with 3 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run.
Ground ball down the line, foul.
Nice play down that line.
1-2 now.
Big smile.
Perez 63 pitches, 41 strikes. Still just 24 years of age. Johnny hits one out to center. 2 down. That'll bring up Eric Ibar. Game in Minneapolis, still tied at 1, top of the 5th.
Kansas City's got to be looking at the scoreboard knowing they have to try to win tonight, especially with Toronto jumping all over Tampa now. They're up 8-4 in that game. We're down 4-1. Toronto scored 7 unanswered runs.
Ibar 1 for 2. The game in Phoenix can go off in about 20 minutes. This one hit the second base. Odor kind of took a stutter step to his right and then went to his left. Could not catch up to that grounder. So that's a single for Eric, his 2nd hit of the night.
It looked like initially off the bat, even though it was hit well by Ibar, he had a chance to make a play on it.
Right fielder Cole.
He's got his prep step working. He reacted and went the other way. The ball was hit hard enough because of that slight hesitation, got by him. Started breaking towards the second base bag. This ball was hit hard and gets by him for a base hit. Giving Cole an opportunity to a place he likes to swing the bat here in Arlington. 5 career home runs here. 21 RBI in the stadium.
0 for 2 so far tonight with a strikeout and a pop-up. Ibar takes off. Swing and a miss. No throw from Jimenez. A stolen base. Go ahead run in scoring position. 15th stolen base for Ibar.
Going on first movement. As soon as he lifts that leg, he's going. No chance for Jimenez to throw him out. Scoring position, any kind of base hit should be able to score Eric Ibar.
Oh-2 count. Angels with the run in the first. Texas tying it up in the bottom of the fourth.
Amos can tell that Cole was trying to tell himself to stay back and use left center field as that approach. That pitch was away.
Especially with both Hamilton and DeShields playing shallow.
In that carry we've seen in these two games so far in this ballpark.
Oh-2 on the way to Cole. He breaks his bat, rolls one over to second. Halos are done here in the fifth. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. It's still a 1-1 tie. Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Hamilton, Andrews, and Odor here in the fifth inning for Texas. It's a 1-1 tie. Josh swinging first pitch, comes up empty. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He's got a fly ball to Victorino in the second. Breaking pitch, and this one down toward shallow right center field. Cole broke back. Ibar drifting out there is there, puts it away for the out.
Real good read by Eric. He sensed, he saw back where Cole was, as far as trying to come in on that baseball. Initially froze back, took a step back, covered a lot of ground. You see that conversation with Trout and Cole Calhoun for Eric Ibar as he's going back with the shift being on. He's got a much better play on this baseball. Goes back and tracks it and uses two hands to keep that baseball in the glove. If you're a youngster at home, use those two hands on a pop-up.
So here's Elvis Andrus. Yanked foul. 0-1.
He's going back on this pop-up. He's got the two hands there. And just as that baseball almost spun out of the glove, he's got that other hand there to secure that baseball in the glove. Youngsters playing baseball always use two hands on that pop-up.
No balls, 2 strikes, and Elvis Andrus, who grounded out in the second inning. The play originally called safe at first. It was a diving stop by Chrome, but later overturned on the challenge by Mike Scioscia. One and two. It's pretty close to being a strike.
But ideally, you have to throw a change up to that spot if you can feel comfortable enough. Fastball is perfect there.
Ground ball toward the hole. Ibar has it eat him up a little bit. Goes into the outfield, and it'll be an error on Ibar, and Andrus will reach. '15th error committed by Eric.
Play back on this baseball. He's back in that outfield grass, and then baseball comes up and hits him in the wrist area. Now you have a stolen base threat on first base with Andrus. He's been very successful stealing bases in his career versus the Angels.
Ground ball towards short. Ibar bobbles this one. That ball had a lot of spin on it. Tried to be quick to get the out at second. You weren't going to turn 2 on it. So back-to-back errors by Eric Ibar puts 2 men on for Chris Jimenez.
Well, it doesn't happen often where you see Eric displaying 2 baseballs in a row like this. Again, he's got the 2 hands, and he's trying to quickly throw over the second base to get the force out. Baseball slips out of his hand. Weaver's got an 8 ground ball double plays turned behind him. This year, he would love to have one right now.
For as many fly balls as he has thrown tonight, he's thrown 2 ground outs here. But only 1 out and 2 on. Jimenez, the catcher, hit a fly ball to deep center field in the 3rd innings. He's 0 for 1. Slow breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Weaver trying to work around those 2 errors, get the Angels back in the dugout. They'll have 3, 4, and 5 due up in the 6th. One ball, 1 strike. Minnesota, Kansas City still tied at 1. That game's the bottom of the 5th. Twins with a man on and 1 out. The Astros at Arizona. Get started here within the next 10 minutes or so. Runners take off. Jimenez takes a strike. The throw goes to second. Odor is safe. So a double steal puts runners at second and third with one out.
And Andrews now has been successful in 43 stolen bases in 48 attempts. He got a huge jump. Odor read that one well also. You keep that tag on it potentially because he popped off the bag. He could be out. Certainly beat the throw.
Mike Butcher headed down to the fall, so the Angels might see some action going in the bullpen. Infield is in. Weaver just at 69 pitches. He's ahead of the count here at 1-2. Jimenez pulls one foul. Scrambling going on in the Angels' pen. You've got the top of the order coming up with Delano to Shields. Then you go into Chu, Fielder, Beltran.
41 strikes into 70 pitches thrown for Weaver. Early in his career, Weaver, an outstanding strikeout pitcher. This year, not as much, but he can use one right now.
One-two. Jimenez checked his swing. No, he did not. He went around. Eric Cooper rings him up. Big strikeout for Weaver. 2 down.
He got what he needed on a changeup.
The center fielder, Delano.
Looked like he went. Perfect pitch. Changeup down and away. Jimenez didn't look like he could hold up. Clearly crossed the plate.
First man up for the Angels is left-hander Jose Alvarez. For Shin-Soo Choo now in the on-deck circle. To Shields a walk and a strikeout. Hits one out toward left center field. Victorino drifting over, has a beat on it, and the Rangers will leave 2 in scoring position.
What a job by Weaver. He was pumped up, coming off that mound, getting through. No damage done. Still tied at 1.
Mike Trout to lead things off for the Angels here in the 6th inning. It's a 1-1 game. Nice job by Jared Weaver. The strikeout of Jimenez and getting to Shields. Hit a fly ball to left. Keep it tied at 1. It'll be Trout, Pujols, and Cron to face Martin Perez. Trout tonight a strikeout and a walk.
See what kind of momentum the Angels offense can pick up after that outstanding job by Weaver to get through with no damage.
He was careful with Trout in the third inning and issued the walk. There's a game in Minneapolis now in the top of the sixth inning.
Leadoff runner now on for Kansas City. No outs.
Trout swing 3-0, fouls it off. 3-1. They're underway. 2 at Chase Field in Phoenix. Astros at the Diamondbacks. Interleague for the last weekend of the season for the Astros and the Diamondbacks. Three-one out toward right field. Shin-Soo Choo racing to his left, and he will glove it. Wow, what a play by Shin-Soo Choo on a dead run on a ball, tailing away from him.
And early this season, he wasn't making those defensive plays. He's got hot swing in the bat. He's been solid defensively also. Covering a lot of ground. Runs this one down, reaches up. The last second to track that one down. If he doesn't make that play, that's a triple. Especially because of the momentum he's going to carry towards the wall and the speed of Trout. Reaches out, an outstanding play.
So the leadoff man retired. Here's Pujols. Albert singled in the first and a fly ball to right in the third inning. For Perez, that's his 75th pitch of the night.
Both batters in this inning. He's fallen behind 2-0 and 3-0 to Trout. Basically, Trout saying I put on a good swing on that pitch, and he did. This is a good play by Choo out in right field.
2-1. Fouled off.
Hyundai key for this game. Nothing else matters. So far, Weaver has done his part. Just looking for some offense now. Good job by Weaver that last inning to get it through that with no damage.
Chopper left side. Odor, the second baseman, to the backhand. Long throw dug out by Moreland. 2 down. It's a pretty nice play. Tough play for the second baseman.
Long throw, not used to that long throw, although he has played some shortstop. Screwing that backhand into the outfield grass, but what another good scoop by Moreland. At first base, been very, very good for Texas. Tough in between hop for him. Makes that look easy.
Drawn 1 for 2 with the RBI single in the first inning. Fouls this one off into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. No action in the Angels pen right now. Alvarez is sat down. So Weaver will head back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. Choo, Fielder, Beltre due up for Texas. Weaver's got it working tonight. He's been able to really keep these hitters off balance. Worked out trouble in the 5th inning. 1-2.
Chased a couple pitches in a row, one a fastball and a changeup out of the strike zone.
And fouls that breaking ball off. Battling here with a 1-2 count. Tomorrow afternoon, Hector Santiago will face Colby Lewis in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Got a good one here tonight. Cohen takes inside, even the count.
Anything working that pitch count here for Perez. Baylor looking on, wondering when this offense is going to kick it in gear here in Texas, like it has the last couple of seasons.
Reaching for this one, rolls one over to Andrews. The Angels go down in order, we're heading to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 1.
And in Arizona, Colby Rasmus, base hit into center field, scoring Springer from second base. As the Astros take an early 1-0 lead against the Diamondbacks. The Astros still with a couple on.
Shin-Soo Choo trying to bunt his way on, rolls it foul. Yeah, 2 outs, or pardon me, 1 out, 2 on. Up 1-0. Minnesota. Kansas City still tied at 1. That game headed to the 7th. 2 1 for 2. Fly ball to right field and a home run the opposite way in the 4th. Breaking pitch, and that's hooked down the right field line. That's going to be trouble. Fair ball. Choo on his way to second. Nice play by Calhoun on the carom, but it's a double to lead off the 6th.
Continues to swing the bat well against Weaver for Chu. Breaking ball, this hooks it right down the line. It stayed elevated enough to get the bat head out. 17 for 43. Got 17 for 42 for Chu against Weaver.
Fielder takes down and in. It is now 3-0 Houston. Still batting in the first. Mike Moore and Alvarez getting ready. Still only one out of that game in Phoenix. One-0 to Fielder. And this one out toward shallow right field. Giovitella goes out there. One out.
Big out there for Weaver and the Angels. Break the ball just off the outside corner, popped it up. Not a productive out for Fielder. The Astros leading 3-0 in the top of the first. Especially with Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Astros, looking for his 20th win of the season.
To the base runner at second with Beltre at the plate. Beltre denied a pop-up to Giovitella and a ground out to the Angels' second baseman. Two balls, no strikes. I mentioned again, Minneapolis showing to the seventh. Twins are still batting in the bottom of the sixth. With 2 outs. They're tied at 1. The Angels with a run in the first. Texas with a run in the fourth, and a home run by Chu to tie things up as Beltre takes his strike. It's 2-1.
Slow 67-mile-an-hour curveball. Beltre just could not swing at that pitch, could not stay back on it. That's a perfect pitch. Weaver wants to know where that's at. That's a perfect pitch. Right on the outside corner at the knees. Kept the glove there. That's a strike.
Three-1 to Beltre. He draws the walk. And so 2 on for Moreland. Alvarez is ready to go if Mike Scioscia wants to go that way, but I'll tell you what, the 2 plate appearances against Weaver have gone Weaver's way against Mitch Moreland. He's kept him off balance. A pop-up and little dribbler out in front of the plate on a 3-0 count. Moreland around now.
Moreland does have good career numbers though against Weaver. And into that game, a .324 career hitter with 2 home runs. And if you go to the lefty, you would think that Bannister would maybe go to Napoli.
That game in Arizona now headed to the bottom of the first. Houston sent 9 men to the plate and scored 3 runs. So the Astros up 3-0 early in that one. Now they're headed to the 7th in Minneapolis, still tied at 1. That's where this score stands. 1 out here in the 6th. Chu, the base runner at second. Beltre at first. First one to Moreland is down and in. I think I caught the zone too.
Yeah, lower part of the strike zone once again.
Weaver had to weave some magic in the 5th to get out of it. A couple of errors by Ibar, and he did so. Needs some help here in the 6th as well. Good on speed.
Set up by that fastball that was borderline the pitch before.
Morton and Alvarez just looking on for the bullpen. Both guys ready to go if necessary. Mike Scioscia leaning on Weaver, who's thrown 84 pitches so far, 49 strikes, 2 punch outs, 3 walks. Caught the top part of the zone. 1-2.
That's a strike, upper part of the strike zone. See, according to our Fox tracks, catches that upper corner.
Moreland pulls this one to second. Johnny Giavotella with a terrific play to Ibar, back to first, not in time.
What a play by Johnny.
And Ibar got taken out at second by Beltran. 2 down.
What a play by Giavotella. That ball was scolded at him. Quickly gets up, quick throw. Tried to be able to turn a double play as Beltran comes sliding in late and hard. Hit Eric Ibar, and Moreland beats it out. Nothing wrong with that slide. That's old-fashioned baseball by Beltran.
Yep. So Josh Hamilton batting with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Hamilton a fly ball to left and a pop-up to shallow left center. One to one. Hamilton pulls this one foul. Breaking ball in. So Weaver ahead of the count at 1-2. Halos in the 7th have Freeze, Victorino, and Perez due up.
For Weaver, it's the batter you have to get. More than likely, done after this inning for Weaver. Don't save anything left right here. Try to get through this inning. Try to get Hamilton out. Keep it tied. Keep that season alive here.
Jared ready with a side. Down it in. Morton looked like he wanted to take off at first. He was just bluffing.
One stolen base in the season. Be surprised if he would take that shot.
Carlos Perez back out in front of the plate once again, flashing the signs. That's just giving the infielders a heads up as to where he's going to go if Moreland does indeed take off for second.
Shook off changeup fastball in for a curveball away.
2-2. Breaking pitch. This one's out towards center. Trout moving back on it. And in front of the track. Will put it away for the 3rd out. 6 in the books. It's Jared Weaver. Goes 6 strong. We'll head to the 7th. It's a 1-1 game. Log on to MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th, Jared Weaver, a terrific 5th and 6th innings, getting out of trouble in both of those innings, keeping this a 1-1 tie as David Freese will lead things off here against Martin Perez. Shane Victorino on the on-deck circle, then Carlos Perez. Freese tonight, a fly ball to right and a ground ball to third. It's been a very good pitcher's duel. Both guys have thrown the ball well. Perez just threw his 87th pitch. He's allowed 4 hits. He's ahead of the count here on Freese at no balls and 2 strikes.
Tell you what, that's an outstanding effort tonight for Weaver. That arm has been barking the last couple of weeks. What a performance here tonight, knowing what's at stake. And a couple plays not made behind him necessarily, a couple calls on borderline pitches, but he's kept his composure. What a job.
2 hits allowed, both to Shin-Soo Choo. A home run and a double and nothing more. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pretty close pitch there on the changeup. He's pitched Freese inside quite a bit.
Yep.
Changeup away there. We're back to another changeup. Changeup in. Tells you got pretty good feel and command of your changeup. You can throw that inside and outside.
Freese bounces this one over to second. Odor throws out David. 1 out. Brings Victorino. Fan season seat deposit for the 2016 season now being accepted. Place your deposit now to receive priority for next season. More info on to place that deposit. Call 888-796-SAIL or just go to angels.com/season seats.
As good as Weaver has been, Martin Perez very good himself.
Yeah. And really the one mistake was to C.J. Cron, the 0-2 pitch. Cron didn't miss it, picked up the RBI single, gave the Angels a 1-0 lead in the first. But from that point forward, he's been very, very good.
It's 1 hit allowed since that first inning.
Yeah, just 2 base runners, a single and a walk. Shane is 0 for 2. 2 fly balls to left field. Looks like the Angels have right-hander Trevor Gott loosening. 0-2. The Rangers have the bottom third of their order coming up, and Andrews, Odor, and Jimenez. Slow roller toward third. Beltran lets it go foul, and it goes foul again for the 2nd straight night, Gooby.
Wow, that was real close.
Very close. It's the 2nd time he's done that in as many games. Last second making the decision to let that ball go foul.
Real close down the line. Better angle right here to see indeed if this baseball does roll foul.
Yeah.
Yep. Good call by Walcott down to third base. Again, once that gets by the base, better angle there.
Good call. Great camera work. Count remains at 0-2. Carlos Perez on deck. Victorino has this one off on the first base end, headed behind the Ranger dugout. Shane goes down swinging, 2 outs. Changeup down and away.
Perfect location. This off-speed pitch, changeup going down and away. What you're hoping for is just to foul that one off. Keep your at bat alive.
Carlos, a strikeout, went down looking into second and grounded out to Elvis Andrus in the fifth. Head of the count now, 2 balls and no strikes.
Some bullpen action here for the Rangers also as Houston still leads the Diamondbacks 3-0. They did have a base runner in the first inning, the Diamondbacks, but did not score.
Ground ball toward the middle. Andrews to his left. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 1-1 tie.
Is outstanding in this game, especially in the key moments to make a quality pitch. It's the Shields to finish off an inning, a fly ball to Victorino, some base runners, the energy he brings, the fist pump. And that nice play by Gianvitella against Moreland, get the force out, and then finishes off the 6th in Hamilton, the fly out to center field. And that look is priceless for Weaver. What a job he did. What a battle tonight for Weaver.
6 very strong innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. And he gives way to Trevor Gott, who takes over on the mound here. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out. Trevor pitching his 47th game at the major league level this year. 4-2 record, a 2.93 ERA, 46 innings, 26 strikeouts and 16 walks. He's got the bottom third of the order here. Andrews, Odor, and Jimenez. Trevor pitched in Wednesday's game, went 2/3 of an inning. striking out 2, walking 1, and giving up a run. That run was unearned, as were many of the runs on Wednesday. Andrews takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ranger shortstop 0 for 2, a ground out. And he reached on the error in the 5th inning. Little dribbler toward third. Freese was playing in. 1 down. Here comes Rougned Odor. Astros up 4-0 now in the 2nd inning. George Springer homering to lead off the 2nd. Dallas Keuchel against Ruby De La Rosa. Game in Minnesota. It's 1-1, top of the 8th. Kansas City and the Twins. Two balls, no strikes.
Well,
the Door also 0 for 2.
The 2 teams chasing the Astros in a battle here, both of them. Twins in a tight 1-1 game, the Angels and Rangers in a 1-1 game.
Three 3-0. Trevor's had his issues against the Rangers this year. 5 appearances, 4 1/3 innings. 4 runs to earn, 6 hits and 4 1/3. There was a strike here, and it's 3-1. Ted troubles with left-handers. .282 batting average against Trevor.
That's why at some point his changeup, more consistently with his breaking ball, is going to be very important against lefties, because that fastball will run away, but it stays in that plane of the bat. The left-handed hitter, if he stays back on it.
Okay, go back. Barrel. Sorry, you go back to the Andrews at bat. The running fastball in on the hands, little dribbler to third. Odor strikes out swinging. Good fastball, 2 down.
Electric fastball, that one 96. That late movement on the fastball there.
Mike Napoli is going to pinch hit for Chris Jimenez here in the 7th with 2 outs. Napoli this year, .224 batting average, 18 home runs, 50 runs batted in 33 games. As Mike Butcher's going to go out and pay a visit here. 33 games against or with Texas. He's hit .306. Looked like the Angels were about to put him on board, it seemed like. DeShields is on deck. $5-0 Astros. Valbuena with a double, scoring Rasmus. Houston still batting in the 2nd. Napoli's a pinch hitter, 1 for 9. 0 for 8 wearing the Ranger uniform. He'll look at a strike. Little dribble toward third. Freese comes in. And that ball took a weird hop off the hand, and it'll go as an infield base hit.
Well, you're going to play back against Napoli when there's a third baseman coming in on that baseball. Really not much of a chance at all for Freese, and then the ball checked on that infield grass as he got to it. See how it spins away from him. That ball might have rolled foul the way it's been going.
I wonder if Beltre lets a ball like that go foul.
You see how this baseball is going to roll. It's just a matter of, would it be at that angle at the base, would it still roll foul? I think you have to try to make that play for Freese, at least knock it down.
Strasburg pitch running for Napoli. Got to pay attention to him. Very good speed.
2 stolen bases in 3 attempts. It's a pretty good combination to throw him out, though. God is quick to the plate, firm fastball. Perez has thrown the ball very well, too, this season.
Shields lifts it out to shallow right. Here comes Cole Calhoun. He'll put it away. 7 complete here in Texas. Still tied at 1.
I'm Patrick O'Neill, Johnny Giavotella, the guy that's been so inspirational for the Angels' September surge, hoping to get things going here for the Halos. Join us after this game for our Angels Live postgame show. Jose Mota will join me. He wants to talk about Jared Weaver and what made him so effective through those 6 innings, and also some great Angels defense to talk about. But as I said last night, Victor and Mark, incredibly tense down here right by this Angels dugout. I can tell you they're very positive at this exact moment. Hopefully something can click in this game. Back to you.
Gotta win, gotta win, gotta win. That's all you can think about right now, especially now that you see the Astros up 5-0 in the 2nd inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Royals have taken a 2-1 lead over the Twins in the 8th inning. Kansas City still batting in that one. It's tied at 1, and Sam Dyson comes into the ballgame. 30th time this year, 2-1 record at 1.23 ERA. He pitched last night, went 1 inning. And all zeros. He pitched a scoreless 8th. He's going to get Giavotella, Ibar, and Calhoun here in the 8th inning.
We talked about him last night. Dyson, power fastball, 94 to 99 slider changeup. After the way Perez is throwing the baseball, you'll take your chances.
Johnny 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a fly ball to center. Takes down and in.
These have been the moments where Giavotella has excelled.
Two 2-0. Dyson, a 4th round pick in 2010 by the Blue Jays out of the University of South Carolina. Now 27 years of age. And 2 games with the Blue Jays. And selected off waivers by the Marlins in 2013. Delivers a strike. Rangers picking up in a trade July 31st. Foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson Chirinos, the new catcher, taking over behind the plate. Drew Stubbs, the new center fielder. So DeShields is out of the game. The interesting thing about the DeShields at bat that ended the 7th is that he swung at the very first pitch. So the Rangers burned Napoli and they burned Strasburger, very good base runner, 27 stolen bases at the minor leagues, because Delino swung at the very first pitch.
And I know Mike Scioscia's got to be happy that now Mike Napoli is out of this game. Just an infield hit against the Angels.
This one's out towards center field. Stubbs coming in. He'll make the running catch, one away. Hey, stay tuned later tonight on the postgame show for the business of sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Honda Valencia. So 1 out, nobody on. And Eric Ibar coming up. Multi-hit game for Eric. 2 for 3. 2 singles. Kansas City has expanded its lead to 3-1 over the Twins and still batting in the 8th. Royals needing a victory to keep pace with the Blue Jays for best overall record in the American League. Toronto beating Tampa Bay 8-4 earlier tonight. First one to strike. Looks like Chirinos got hit after the swing.
Looking to follow through the swing. The Ibar follow through, hit the bat on the helmet of Chirinos. They're trying to keep him standing at that point. Kansas City score against Minnesota. Very close to hitting him. Especially, even though that baseball bounced in the dirt that hits him, he's awarded first base. I don't know how that didn't hit him.
Yeah. That's one of those you want to wear. That's the kind you want to wear, the breaking ball in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes with Cole Calhoun on deck. Eric reaching for this one, rolls one up the line and rolls foul.
One thing we've learned from this field here in Arlington, that baseball will roll foul when it's towards the line. Very different than when we see it in Anaheim.
Martin Perez tonight, 7 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 run. It was back in the first. Around 3 hits in the first inning, 2 base runners since then. Here's the 1-2. Ibar goes down swinging, 2 outs.
It's a real good pitch. That sinker going down and away there, and his changeup. For Dyson, changeup 88 to 90, 91 range.
Bases clear for Calhoun, is 0 for 3. Calhoun and Trout so far. And really, not to just single those 2 guys out, but because the offense in general has struggled. A total of 7 hits in 2 games, but 0 for 13. The second and third spot in the order. He hits this one down the line, slicing out of play. And strike one. Cole had his issues in September after a rough month of August. Strikeouts racked up for Cole. Trout yet to get into anything here. He just needs some heroics late. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. It's still a 1-1 tie. Must wins. That's how we've been looking at it for a while now. No balls, 2 strikes.
They're going against the old adage about pitching away, using the big part of the field late in the game. They've tried 2 fastballs in a row on the inner half. Even though Dyson throws hard, exact spot where Calhoun can do the damage.
Time called now. One run, 4 hits, 2 errors, 4 left on for the Angels. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 6 left on for Texas. The Rangers will have 2, 3, and 4 due up in the 8th. And it looks like it'll be Mike Moore getting the ball in the bottom of the 8th. Dyson ready. Calhoun strikes out, swinging, and the Angels go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 1. And voted a hashtag West Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. We said Mike Moore was getting ready. Jose Alvarez was as well, apparently. He will come in to face Shin-Soo Choo, who's going to lead things off here at the bottom of the 8th. Alvarez takes over for Trevor Gott, who in 1 inning had 1 hit allowed and 1 strikeout. 63rd game, 4-3 mark at a 3.58 ERA. He went 2/3 of an inning last night. Halos and the Twins, a game back of the Houston Astros. Minnesota's losing. Kansas City still batting in the 8th inning, and Royals up 3-1. Houston leading Arizona. They're batting now the top of the 3rd inning, 5-0. Astros on top. They scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Here it's a 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 8th. The magic number for Texas to win the division is 1. First one on the way. And Choo fouls it off. Pretty good rip. Bouncer back at the glove by Jose. Flips it to Crone, 1 out.
Solid play by Alvarez. Every play, every pitch, every swing at this moment, huge for the Halos. It's going to be a play where it's going to be Eric Ibar is going to have to come across the diamond. A tough in-between hop. Good job by Jose Alvarez.
Chu now 2 for 4 on the night. Texas with 3 hits. The Angels with just 4. Fielder with a walk, a fly ball to center, to pop up to second. Takes a strike. Oh, 1. We've really kept Fielder off balance tonight with the off-speed stuff. Jared working 6 innings, allowing a run on 2 hits, had 2 strikeouts and 3 walks.
Good spot. Good off that outside corner.
Halos in the 9th have Trout, Pujols, and Crone due up. Guys you want batting in a crucial situation. They can kind of figure out the Rangers' pen. Full count. Minnesota got out of a bases-loaded situation and kept it a 2-run deficit for the Twins. It's 3-1 at Target Field. Twins coming about in the bottom of the 8th. In this one, the Angels got a run on the Crone single in the 1st. Texas tied it up on the Chu home run in the 4th. 3-2 pitch. Fielder takes a called strike 3. A fastball painted. 2 down.
What a pitch. Talked to Jose today. He's really relished and loved this opportunity to pitch in the bullpen this season for the Angels. 2 huge outs as Mike Scioscia going to the pen.
Pitching change forthcoming with Mike Morin ready to go. And Adrian Beltre due up. Nice job by Alvarez getting the first 2 outs here in the 8th inning. It's a 1-1 game here in Arlington. Mike Morin here in just a sec. Give you up to date on some of the scores. Kansas City leading the Twins 3-1, bottom of the 8th inning. And in Arizona, Houston up 5-0. First two batters have reached to start the third for the Astros, so they're not done. They came out swinging the bats against the Diamondbacks. Ruby De La Rosa. Mike Moore pitching in his 45th game, 3-2 mark of 550 earned run average. And he'll face Beltre, who's hitless tonight, 0 for 2 with a pop-up, a ground down, and a walk. Mike did not pitch last night. He pitched in Wednesday's game. About 1/3 of it, and gave up 3 runs, 1 earned on 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk. First one on the way. Beltre, a swing and a miss. Slider.
Warren is throwing the ball very well against Beltre. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Good first pitch slider.
Oh, 2.
Changeup, 70-mile-an-hour changeup. Boy, that's going to the driving range and trying to drive a golf ball as far as you can when you have a swing like that.
Yeah, that's Happy Gilmore like.
Yes.
Ground ball up the middle, and Giavotella has it over to first. And the Rangers are done in order here in the 8th. We head to the 9th inning. Trout, Pujols, and Crone coming up for the Halos in a 1-1 game. The American League Division, the Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins Thursday on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Magic number for the Texas Rangers to win the division is 1. Toronto won tonight. Kansas City currently leading the Twins. That game's in the bottom of the 8th inning. Houston has the second wild card. The Yankees clinched yesterday the first wild card. As it stands right now, they will host the wild card game Tuesday night in New York. Sean Tollison, the closer, here in the 9th inning. Dyson went 1 inning, and it was a 1-2-3 frame with a couple of strikeouts. Tollison closed it out last night for Texas. Ended up picking up his 35th save. Trout, Pujols, and Crone for the Angels here in the 9th.
Tollison's fastball is 91 to 95. Slider, cut fastball, changeup.
Fastball for a strike. Trout tonight 0 for 2. A strikeout, a walk, and a fly ball to right field. Trout drives one out toward right center field. Hit well. Drew Stubbs giving chase. He will not get there. One hops the fence. Chu backing up. Gets the baseball back in toward Odor. Trout on his way to third, and he is in there with a triple.
That was that extra gear. He kicked it in. 6th triple of the season by Trout. What a swing and what an effort to get to third base for Mike Trout. Played well and backed up well by Chu. Stubbs unable to get there, almost tracked it down, but backed up extremely well by Chu. Gets it in quickly to Odor, but Trout with that extra speed, that gear, he kicked it in, slides in for a triple. You can sense right out of the batter's box, he's trying to will this team to this victory here today by going and sliding in for a triple. What a swing, what a slide, Trout.
Mike Maddox had to talk with his closer now.
Just in case the Angels put the suicide squeeze on, you think?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picked up 35 saves this year. Got a feeling he knows what he's got to do. Pujols.
It's also good, too, because Trout can take a breath now. It's a good thing.
Albert 1 for 3 tonight with a single back in the first inning.
How big is this game here for the Angels? And their leader, Mike Trout.
Infield in for Texas. Houston added a run in the third. They lead at 6-0 now. Albert swings first pitch, lines with a center field. That'll get down for a hit. The Angels have a 2-1 lead. Pujols with his 93rd run batted in.
The guys really carried this club in that hot streak when they went 17-3. Come through right here now. Trout triple. Pujols RBI single. His 93rd of the season for Pujols.
Kyle Kubica is going to pinch run for Albert Pujols at first base. So Albert finishes the game going 2 for 4. So back-to-back multi-hit games for Pujols. And still nobody out here in the 9th inning.
He passed Cal Ripken, the Hall of Famer. That RBI list all time. 1696 for Pujols.
Crone takes a strike. 1 for 3 game with an RBI single in the first inning. Throw to first. Kyle back in there. 7 stolen bases at AAA this year. And 21 stolen bases last year at AA. Playing in the Braves system. He's a North Texas native, just up the road in Colleyville. Had some family and friends out yesterday before the game. Crone fouls it back.
That's a hanging breaking ball. C.J. Crone in his career versus Towson, 2 for 4. Big at bat by Albert.
Joe Smith getting ready. He will get the bottom of the 9th. Moreland, Hamilton, and Andrews. Lefty, lefty, righty. 0-2 pitch. Crone takes low. 1-2. A triple by Mike Trout to lead off this 9th inning, and Pujols with an RBI single, giving the Angels the lead. check to swing on a high fastball. 2-2.
It's a dangerous pitch for C.J. Cron. He's looking away, and he was committed to something away. And that fastball ran dangerously close up and in.
And has had one hit from the second inning through the eighth and picked up 2 knocks here in the ninth. Cron shoots one to second base. Odor has it, bobbles it for a second, flips it over to Andrews, who still turns the double play. Wow! 2 down. Talk about staying with the play.
What it's all about, even though Odor does not field that cleanly right away, with a quick flip to Andrews. Barehand, a quick firm flip, but then the quick turn to get out of the way. The slide by Kubica turns the double play.
Off balance, all arm throw. 2 down, bases cleared. Here's Freese, 0 for 3 tonight. There's Joe getting ready. Moore, he got the last down in the 8th inning. Now the pitcher of record for the Angels. Freese pulls out with foul, and it's 1-2. Just another 1-run game for the Angels. They've been living on the edge for a while. Two to Freese. He fouls it off. Diamondbacks batting in the bottom of the 3rd. Houston on top 6-0. With Dallas Keuchel on the mound. They're in the 9th in Minnesota with the Royals up 3-1. 2-2 now. In tight. Full count with David Murphy having come out to the on-deck circle. The 3-2. Freese takes a called strike 3, and we will head to the bottom of the 9th, but we'll do so with the Angels up 2-1.
Boy, what a couple of huge at-bats by the key components to this offense. Mike Trout crushed the ball to right center field for a speed triple. And then, with that energy, Albert Pujols, first pitch swinging, base hit into left center field, bringing home Trout with the go-ahead run.
2-1, courtesy of the single by Albert Pujols, as Joe Smith is given the baseball to try to close this one out. Smith scheduled to face Moreland, Hamilton, and Elvis Andrus. Joe, remember, missed a considerable, well, not a considerable amount of time, a good chunk of time of that last road trip and last homestand because of the rolled ankle that occurred in Minneapolis. 69th game, a 5-5 record and a 3.69 ERA. He'll have some new defensive players behind him. Efrain Navarro takes over at first base. Taylor Featherston is the new second baseman, and Caleb Coward is the new third baseman. Outfield remains the same, and Victorino, Trout, and Calhoun from left to right. Mitch Moreland tonight, 0 for 2. Pardon me, 0 for 3. First one, a slider for a strike. Backdoor slider misses. Evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe, the closer now for the Angels the rest of the way, with Houston Street unable and out for the rest of the season. Allen misses up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Moreland 3 for 7 in his career against Smith. Hamilton, who's on deck, 3 for 8. And Andrews 3 for 14. These are the 3 batters here in the 9th. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Three-1 to Moreland. He fouls this one off. Staying away from him.
Good movement on that fastball. That Perez was setting more towards the inner part of the plate just to make sure he was able to get that one in the strike zone, because he's been starting that pitch on the corner and it's breaking off and not able to get Moreland to swing at it.
Here's the payoff. Moreland hits one out towards center field. Trout has a beat on it, moves over. 1 down. Hamilton tonight 0 for 3 with 3 fly ball outs. On the outside corner for a strike.
Just like he did with Moreland, backdoor slider. First pitch. Try to sink a fastball away, second. Now you got to try to expand the strike zone, bounce a pitch if you can.
Hamilton goes down swinging, 2 outs.
Talk about perfect location. Talked about expanding the strike zone. This fastball well off the outside corner. Target set perfectly by Perez and hit even better by Joe Smith.
Here's Elvis Andrus with 2 outs. In there for a strike. Elvis tonight 0 for 3. Ground ball left side. Ibar has it. Over to first. Light that baby up as the Angels even up the series. at a game apiece as they take game 2 by the final of 2-1.
Well, you talk about heart. This club has it right there. Mike Trout, that hustle triple to start the 9th, and Albert Pujols, the machine, coming through with an RBI single as the Angels win this game, and game they needed to win, 2-1. Great job by Jared Weaver and the bullpen, but Weave, an outstanding. He, the Warrior, came in and did a great job today, and just enough hitting to win this game.
A big win for the Angels, and Mike Moore picks up the victory in relief as he worked 1/3 of an inning. The Angels needing now the Astros to lose, but that being said, Carlos Correa is homered at the top of the 4th inning, and the Astros have a 7-1 lead on the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that game is still at the top of the 4th with Houston still batting. Minnesota will head to the bottom of the 9th, trailing Kansas City by the score of 3-1.
Well, all you got to do is hope that Houston loses tomorrow. The Angels are right back at it. It's early Pacific time tomorrow for that game at 10 a.m. for Angel fans to get up and watch that one on Fox. Great game here. What an effort by the club here today to win this one, 2-1. Albert Pujols with a clutch hit.
Albert is making his way over. Get a chance to talk with him as the Angels, as you said, make up a big victory tonight. And Albert, we appreciate the time as always. I know it's difficult in these type of situations. You've been around it so much, especially the way this Angels offense really swung the bat in the homestand to come in here, struggled offensively, but a big win in that 9th inning against Sean Tolleson.
Well, definitely. I mean, obviously, he's pitching pretty well for those guys, and obviously Mikey, with a big triple right there. And my job was just try to get a good pitch to hit and hopefully do my job. But I mean, you need to give credit to Weaver. I mean, he obviously a warrior. He went out there. He's not 100%.